Assalamualaikum. Today our group will be presenting a case study regarding DKA, which is dating visa N. Before we start, I'll be introducing our team members. For question 1, Nur Amni Basira will be covering this part. Me, Putri Nosno Fakira Minti Mamat Fisa, will be answering question 2. Question 3 will be answered by Nurul alias Sofia. For question 4, Siti Farisha will be covering this part. As for question 5, Nur Anis Natasha will be presenting. And lastly, question 6 will be presented by Mariatul Kitya. And we are from JBA 2523A.
For the question number 1, which is you are required to count the number of failures in the moral test data. For this question, we can use the count if formula. First, write down the count if, then put the range, then write down the criteria, which is fail. Then we will got the total of fail, which is 54.
Hi, I'm Putri Fakira. So for question 2, using the information in more unit sales and tractor unit sales, construct a new worksheet in the database to calculate gross revenue by month and region, as well as global totals for each product. So now I'm going to teach you how I get my answer. So firstly, what we're going to do is how to calculate in order to get the revenue. We just need to click at the NA data and then equal sum, and then click the NA data, and then we click the price at 2015, which is 150, and then we just drag to the right and then to the bottom, and we will get all the answers. And same goes to the 2016. We just need to repeat the steps. So now we just need to follow the same step for every year using the respectively price every year. So we can see for 2016 it is 175, and then for 2017 it is 180, and for 2018 it is 185. As you can see, I put the dollar sign on the numbers because I want it to be fixed for the formula. So once I get my data, once I finish doing all my data, so what I need to do is just copy all the data and then put insert. Okay, and then we make a pivot table and we just choose any information we want. So from the question, they want it to be by month and then according to the region. So you just need to put everything at the right columns. As you can see here, I am trying to figure out the best table for the question. So you can just drag and put it on the column that you want. And this is some few example of table that I gain, and this is the last table that I want. And from here we get the grand total for each region and each month as per requested on the question. So for now, for the tractor unit sales, we just need to do the same step as we did for the mower unit sales, exactly the same step. And as you can see, you just need to copy and then put the symbol dollar sign and then just drag, and you will get all the answers. So once we get all the data, we just need to copy and then insert and make a pivot table. And you just need to click everything that we want, the region, the months, and then we will get the table as same as before. So that is how we get the grand total for each region, and then for each month, and as well as the sum of the whole.
My name is Nurul alias Sofia binti Abdul Nasir, and I will be explaining the question 3. For question 3, DKA wants to gain an overview of PLE's overall business performance and market position by examining the information provided in the database. Specifically, she is asking you to construct appropriate charts for the data in the following worksheets and summarize your conclusion from analysis of the chart. First of all, let's take a look at dealer satisfaction. For North America, the line chart shows the dealer satisfaction scale in North America from 2015 to 2019. In the year 2019, it has the highest scale, which is 56, in Service Scale 5. Based on the data, the dealer satisfaction at scale of 5 increased for every year from 11 in 2015 to 56 in 2019. Next, South America. The database and the line chart shows dealer satisfaction in South America in 2015 to 2019. In 2019, it has the highest scale, which is 60 in scale 5. Dealer satisfaction in South America on a scale of 3, 4, and 5 was consistently the same in 2015 and 2016, but increased in the following year, except for scale 4 in 2018. Next is Europe. This database and the line chart shows dealer satisfaction in Europe 2015 to 2019. In the year 2019, it has the highest scale, which is 21 in scale 4. However, the dealer satisfaction on a scale 4 started dropping in 2019. The number of dealer satisfaction from 2015 to 2019 was consistently the same for scale 0 to 2. Next is Pacific Rim. The database and line chart shows the dealer satisfaction survey scale 2015 to 2019. In 2019, it has the highest dealer satisfaction, which is 7 in scale 4. Meanwhile, in scale 5, from 2015 to 2018, the dealer satisfaction keeps increasing and falls back in 2019. Next is China. The database and line chart shows dealer satisfaction in China from 2015 to 2017. In 2017, it has the highest dealer satisfaction, which is 8 in scale 4. Dealer satisfaction started to increase to scale 5 starting from 2017. Since the sample size is 16 in 2019, most dealers vote for scale 4, which means it increased from scale 3 from previous year. So next, let's take a look at end user application. The data and chart show the end user satisfaction with the products. The scale 5 are compiled in the chart from the year 2015 until 2019 for North America, South America, Europe, Pacific Rim, and China. We can see that North America has the highest satisfaction in 2019 than other countries, and it eventually tells that they were satisfied with their performance loan equipment. Next is complaints. The table shows the data of complaints of performance loan equipment recorded for each year in North America, South America, Pacific Rim, Europe, and China in year 2015 to 2019. Since North America has a higher end user of loan equipment, we can see that North America also has the highest number of complaints in the year 2019, which is 1743 complaints. Moreover, the complaints recorded in South America and Europe were increasing from 2015 until 2019. Meanwhile, the complaint at Pacific Rim started to decreasing from 151 to 130 in the year 2018 to year 2019. Next is mower unit sales. The data and chart above shows the mower for each country. North America has the highest total of mowers, which is 452,540 units, and the unit sales keeps increasing every year. Meanwhile, Europe mower unit sales dropped from the year 2015 to 2019. Lastly is on-time delivery. The bar chart shows the sum of the number of deliveries and the sum of the number on time. In 2019, the total number of deliveries is the highest among all the years, which is 17010. Meanwhile, the sum of time also has the highest number in the same year, 2019, which is 16851. Both of them keep increasing from 2016 until 2019. Next, I will answer the question number 4. The question is, you also need to provide statistical information by representing a descriptive statistical summary for the 2014 customer survey data. Alright, firstly we have to click button data and then click the data analysis. For the data analysis tools, we choose the descriptive statistic and then press OK. Select all the data range included the label. Then we click group column and click the label in first row. So the output option, we enter it to the new worksheet and then we click summary statistic. Then click OK. The answer will come up. The 2014 customer survey data shows 4 types of data, which are quality, ease of use, price, and service by presenting a descriptive statistical summary. The first analysis is measures of central tendency, which means median and mode. Mean is the average value of the data. Next, median is the middle value after sorting observation, and mode is most of a peer value. Furthermore, measures of normality, which are skewness and kurtosis. Normal skewness has a zero skew distribution, is symmetric around it mean positive skewness, has long right tail and higher values. And negative skewness has long left tail and lower value. However, kurtosis measures the thickness of or flatness of the distribution of the series. We can see from the data for the skewness, all the data is negatively skewed distribution because all the number is negative.
So for question 5, you'll be answering this question with me. I'm Nur Anis Natasha and we will answer question 5. So for the question A, are there significant differences in ratings of specific product or service attributes in the 2014 customer survey data? So for this question, you actually have to do the ANOVA test. What is ANOVA test? ANOVA test is analysis of variance and used when comparing more than two groups. We want to find where the variation exists within the groups. So for the first step, we have to state the null hypothesis and alternative hypothesis. So for null hypothesis, we always say that there is no difference between the groups, but are trying to see on the alternative hypothesis that not all means are equal. So how you can run the ANOVA single factor? So firstly, you go to your Excel, go to data and click on the data analysis and you can choose the first choice, which is ANOVA single factor, and you just click OK and it will come up with the result, which is you will get this two table. So after that, we have to focus with these 3 points which I already highlight. You might wonder why. This is because we will use approach here, which is p-value approach and critical value approach. For p-value approach, we will comparing the alpha. Let's say the alpha is 0.05, so if the p-value is less than alpha, we have to reject the null. But if the p-value is more than the alpha, we fail to reject the null. So in this case, the p-value is less than alpha, thus we reject the null hypothesis and conclude that after comparison, the defects after delivery are not the same amongst all the groups. Next is critical value approach. We will comparing the F test with critical value. We will comparing F test with F critical value. If F test is more than F critical, we have to reject the null. But if the F test less than the F critical value, we fail to reject the null. So in this case, the F statistic value, which is 178.22, surpasses the critical F value, which is 2.54, which indicates that we should reject the null hypothesis, since there are significant differences in the mean of defects after delivery among the groups under examination. So for question B, have the data in the worksheet defects after delivery changed significantly over the past 5 years? So for this question, we still have to do the same as the first question. So we go to data and you can click the data analysis and choose the first option, which is ANOVA single factor, and you just click OK. So it will come up with these two tables, and we still have to focus on these three that I already highlight. So for p-value approach, the value of the F statistic is 1.7268 and p-value obtained is 0.1458, which makes it more than alpha 0.05. Thus means that we fail to reject the null hypothesis because the F statistic value is 1.7268, thus the corresponding p-value is 0.1558, is more than 0.05, which is the level significance of alpha. Last question is critical value approach. The critical F value is 2.53 is greater than the F statistic value, which is 1.7268, which means that the observed differences between the groups are not statistically significant. Thus, we fail to reject the null hypothesis. So that is how you answer for question 5. So I'll pass to the next presenter for question 6.
My name is Maria Tukitia binti Muhammad Syukur. I will be presenting the answer for question number 6. So before we show the regression analysis, we have to come up with two types of hypothesis, which is null hypothesis and alternative hypothesis. So the above hypothesis is the hypothesis for question number 6. As you can see in the table above, the data is clustered since the standard error in the intercept, which is 4.504, is less than 10, as can be observed. Next, confidence interval. Since a 0 is included in the confidence interval for the intercept, years of education, college GPA, both 0 and 1 are statistically different from 0, but for age, the data do not contain a 0, making both 0 and 1 statistically distinct from 0. For t-test, we can conclude that the coefficients are statistically equal to 0, which means that we fail to reject the null hypothesis is 0 because the p-value for intercept, years of education, and college GPA are all bigger than the significance threshold of at 0.05. However, the p-value for age, which is 0.038, which is lower than the significance levels of 0.05, indicating that the coefficients are not statistically equal to 0 and that the null hypothesis will be rejected. For f-test, the f-test has a p-value of 0.115, which is higher above significance limit of 0.05. We are unable to prove that the null hypothesis, which means that the age, college GPA, and years of education have no statistically significant impact on years PLE. Lastly, R-square. Based on the employee retention statistic, R-square is 0.150, which means that years of education, college GPA, and age together account for 50% of variation in the UPLE. Other factors account for the remaining is 85%.